Today we're making a classic Reuben sandwich, and we're gonna take a whole brisket and we're gonna brine it for 14 days. Then we're gonna smoke it to cook it on the pellet grill. Then we're gonna jump back inside to make these delicious classic Reuben sandwiches. Let's go. Making corned beef is really not that hard. So let me go over the ingredients really quick. The process is super simple. You just need a little bit of time. Onion, celery, carrot, cinnamon, ginger, garlic, juniper berries, clove, black peppercorns, mustard seeds, salt, and I don't have any allspice berries, so I'm just using allspice. And of course you need brisket and some water. So the first thing is we're gonna get a container or a pot, and we're gonna put all these ingredients in here along with some water. We're gonna bring it to a boil. So let's get that done really quickly. Onion, celery, carrots, allspice, cinnamon, ginger, garlic, juniper, clove, peppercorns, mustard, salt, water. Everything's in the pot. Bring it over here to the stove. Get your stove turned on high. Give that a stir. We're gonna let that come to a boil. After it comes to a boil, we're gonna let it cook for 10 minutes. Now, let's get this big old brisket right here. Well, it ain't that big. Let's get it out of the pack and trimmed up as if we're gonna smoke it on the barbecue. All right, now that's kind of a weird shape, so it's probably best just to go ahead and remove that. It's just not really gonna work out too well. And some of this fat, it's just gonna be too much fat. Same process as if you're trimming a brisket. We're gonna remove some of the silver skin. Fat right there. Trim that down just a little bit. What they call aerodynamic. Some of that oxidized meat. Let's just go ahead and remove that.
It's just a lot of fat.
Fat cap right there. I did trim it up a little bit more than I wanted to, just because there was just way too much fat and it was just gonna be a wonky cook. So what I will do is I'll get this container, set my brisket right there, and I'm gonna pour my water on top, and it's gonna brine for 14 days. Now you can see that we're at a rolling boil, and all of those flavors are starting to marry together in with the water and all the vegetables. So we're gonna let that go for about 10 minutes. Turn off the flame. We're gonna cool it off, then pour it over the brisket. Brining liquid has been cooling for about an hour. Let's pour it over the brisket. Make sure the meat is covered. In the fridge for 2 weeks, then I'll see you back then. It's been 14 days. Let's take the lid off. I want you to look at that, how beautiful that cut of meat looks. 14 days right here. The smell is fantastic. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna rinse this off, I'm gonna dry it, and then we're gonna season it. The brisket / corned beef is rinsed and dried off. 3 simple ingredients: mustard, paprika, cayenne. So what I'm gonna do is coat it with a little bit of mustard, simply as a binder, that's all. So let's get this seasoned up with paprika, cayenne. I'm gonna flip it over and do the same. All right, the bottom side is seasoned. Now we're gonna do the top. And I know some of you might be asking, well, why mustard, paprika, and cayenne? It's just something that I started years ago, and I've just learned to love the flavor profile of paprika and cayenne on the brisket or corned beef, even when I buy them out of the store packs that are already brined. So let me just show you the ratio. It's a lot more paprika and just a little bit of cayenne. Heavy dose of paprika. And then a really good light coating of cayenne. Press that in. You don't want to rub it because it might come off. Looks beautiful, doesn't it? The Traeger's at 250 degrees. Let's go get this loaded on the Traeger. All right, we've got the Traeger at 250. I'm gonna put a drip pan right here. All right, there's the corned beef. I'm just gonna set it right there. And we're gonna come back and check that in about 3 hours, 2.5 maybe, for a spritzing. Ooh, there's that beautiful corned beef. Been on about 2 hours. We're gonna go ahead and put one of our meter probes in so that we can track the temperature. And one of the things that I'm gonna do is pull this at 200 degrees. And looks like some of the bark is starting to get set. So we're gonna leave about another hour, then we're gonna spritz it. Woo, look at that pretty piece of meat. Close to 4 hours, and according to meter, the temperature is sitting right at 110 degrees. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna spritz it with some of the same liquid that it was brined in. Let's come back in about 90 minutes. Corned beef has had 6 hours of smoke, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna set it down in a pan right there, and I'm just gonna spritz it with the same solution that it brined in. We're gonna cover it. Now, you could put this in the oven, but I'm gonna keep it on the smoker. Covered, we're gonna let that run until it hits 200 degrees, and then we're gonna let it rest for a full hour and a half. Meat is at 200 degrees. Now here's what we're gonna do with it. This is a styrofoam insulated specialty catering box that I used to use when we fed a couple thousand people a week. So I'm just going to set that corned beef in there for about 90 minutes. You can set it in a cooler if you don't have one of these fancy things. All right, we'll slice it in 90 minutes. Corned beef is done resting. Got it sitting right here. Swimming in a pool of juices. Look at all that juice. Oh my goodness, that looks amazing. So we'll set that right there. Woo, just want you to look at how beautiful that is. Let's cut it in half to see what it looks like. I know it's gonna be tender, juicy, and amazing, of course. Look at the color on that. Juicy. Looks delicious. Let's just cut a small bite. Oh man, you can tell just the color on this thing is just insane. Let's look at this. Oh man, salty, juicy, tender. That is fantastic. My mouth is full. You have to try my recipe. This is amazing. I've got some Thousand Island sauerkraut, some rye bread, a little bit of butter, some cheese. Let's make a corned beef sandwich to finish this video. Wow. First step is to toast our rye bread. It's been buttered. Let's flip our buns. Let's remove our bread. We're gonna take corned beef, just like some piles of it. Take some Swiss cheese, a little H2O, so we can melt the cheese. Take a little Thousand Island dressing. Spread that around. Let's let that get happy. There is all that corned beef with that delicious Swiss cheese. Take some sauerkraut. Oh goodness. Pile that stuff right on top. That top bun. I would say that is a classic Reuben. Let's cut into this thing. Just want you to look at that. Oh my gosh, that looks delicious. Let's give this sandwich a try, man. It's just got meat coming out everywhere. That's just flipping phenomenal.